Welcome to I Love English TV.
Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Now. I'm Danya, and I'm very happy you're here today. In this episode, I want to tell you some fun stories about my travels. I made some mistakes, met nice people, and had many small adventures, especially in New York City. The stories are short and easy to understand. I hope you enjoy them and learn English with me. So, sit back, relax, and let's start.
Last summer, I traveled to another country for the first time. I was so excited. I arrived at the airport very early, bought a coffee, and sat down to relax. After a few minutes, I heard someone say, "Final call for Flight 205 to Paris." That was my flight! Last summer, I traveled to another country for the first time. I was so excited. I arrived at the airport very early, bought a coffee, and sat down to relax. After a few minutes, I heard someone say, "Final call for Flight 205 to Paris." That was my flight! I grabbed my bag and ran to the gate. But when I arrived, the woman said, "Sorry, this is Flight 205 to Perth, not Paris." I looked at my ticket again. She was right. I was in the wrong terminal. I had only 10 minutes left. I ran as fast as I could, through people, shops, and security. Finally, I reached the correct gate, and the door was still open. When I sat on the plane, I was sweating but smiling. It was my first big travel mistake and my first funny travel story. Last spring, I visited New York City for the first time. I wanted to see Times Square and the big buildings. I took the subway, but after 2 stops, I realized I didn't know where I was. I asked a woman, "Excuse me, where is Times Square?" She smiled and said, "Just follow me. I'm going there too." We walked together through the streets. There were so many people, lights, and big screens everywhere. I took many photos, but I was still nervous because I didn't know the way back.
Finally, we arrived at Times Square. It was amazing. Bright lights, music, and people from all over the world. I thanked the woman and promised myself, next time I will bring a map. It was my first big adventure in New York, and I will never forget it. After that, I wanted to go to Central Park. So I got a taxi. The driver was very quiet. After a few minutes, he turned the radio very loud and started singing. At first, I was surprised, but then I laughed. Suddenly, he stopped the taxi and said, "Look, you need to see this." Outside, there was a small street festival. Music, dancers, and food. I didn't plan to go there, but it was amazing. I thanked the driver and enjoyed the festival for 2 hours. I didn't even go straight to Central Park, but it was one of the best days in New York. After that, I went for a walk around New York and bought a hot dog. It was very big and delicious. I walked to sit on a bench, but a bird jumped and took my hot dog. I was shocked but laughed. A little boy saw me and gave me his hot dog. I said, "Thank you," and shared it with the bird. In the afternoon, I went to the bus stop. It was very quiet. No people, no cars, only the sound of the wind. I looked at my phone, but the battery was almost dead. Then I saw a man standing at the other side of the street. He was wearing a long black coat and a hat. I couldn't see his face. Suddenly, he started walking toward me, slowly. My heart was beating fast. I wanted to call someone, but my phone turned off. The man came closer, and then he smiled and said, "Hey, you dropped your wallet." I felt so silly. He
just wanted to help me. I thanked him, took my wallet, and we both laughed.
Then it started raining in New York. I didn't have an umbrella, so I ran to a small cafe to stay dry. Inside, people were talking and laughing. I ordered coffee and met a woman from Italy. We shared our travel stories while waiting for the rain to stop. When the rain stopped, I went outside. The streets were wet, the air smelled fresh, and the city looked amazing. It was a small adventure, but I loved it. One night, I was watching a movie at home when my phone rang. The number was unknown, but I answered anyway. A quiet voice said, "Is it done?" I was confused. "Sorry?" I said. The voice repeated, "Is it done?" Then hung up. I tried to call back, but the number didn't exist. I felt a little scared, but also curious. Who was that? What did they mean? A few minutes later, I got a message. "Sorry, wrong number." I laughed, but still, every time my phone rings now, I think, what if it's them again? Traveling is full of surprises. Sometimes funny, sometimes a little scary, but always exciting. Have you ever made a travel mistake? Got lost? Or had a strange adventure? I hope you enjoyed my stories today. Stay tuned for more fun English stories on Speak English Now.